When I took up the cross you left for me, took up the cross that set me free from troubled times. The victory took up the cross that set me free.
Lori's clapping. Others may be more doubtful, but so we said, okay, and we're going to hire some professionals to help us with this because, you know, you've seen the four of us, so you know that we need the help. So we contracted with a firm called Jewel Toned Interiors, and they are here today to give us a run-through over some of the things that they've been working with us on in terms of rethinking the interior of this sanctuary right now, right here. Yeah. So, I'm sure they're here. I don't see them. Where's Devin? Where's Joy? Have you seen them, Collins? They're here today to make the presentation and guide us into some of the deliberations that have gone on over the last few months as they prepared these presentations. So, the point of this is that this is the opportunity for you as a congregation to see the ideas that have been kicked around and to give your input today. This is not, I emphasize, the final plan. This is an opportunity for input from the congregation. So it's important that you're here and able to, you know, convey your concerns or your desires in this process. What will follow will be a final plan that attempts to reconcile their design aesthetic, our operational or functional concerns, and then the comments of the congregation today. It's a big task for them, but that's why we hired them. They're the good professionals. So I want to turn it over to them, but I don't see them. Where are they? Collins, have you seen them? Okay. You know, they also attend church, and so they were at First Baptist downtown, so they may be trying to get over here right now to make this presentation. They warned us it was going to be tight. So we're going to give them a little forbearance and just hang on for a minute. Yes, sir. Okay. Right. Yeah. God's made the important point here that, you know, because people in the congregation don't really keep up with, you know, the financial matters here at the church. You may not know, but we have quite a bit of money that's been piling up over the last few years here. And so we're not broke in any stretch of the imagination. We have the funds to make these renovations that are being proposed. In fact, you'll be shortly also hearing about changes to the landscaping outside and the exterior of the church, because we got contracted with a landscape architect to work on the outside, and he tells me that by this Wednesday he'll have a plan for us. I hope that's true, but and we'll be showing that to you as well. Now, if you want to give to the work that's going to happen here, we obviously welcome any offerings or gifts that you want to make, but I want to assure you that we're not in any way going to go broke because we're doing this. That's not even an issue. God has been very gracious to us and has blessed us financially here in this congregation. So there it is. I think Collins went to pursue them, so again, I ask you to bear with us for a minute while they get here. There you go. I'll sing a solo. So low you cannot hear me. So, but hey, here they come. All right. Would you all welcome Joy and Devin? Okay. We've been saying nice things about you. Okay. They're, okay, that's fine. All right. Can I give you the microphone and you can take over?
Can we just talk loud? Can you guys hear us if we talk loud?
No.
Okay. Hello, everybody. I am Joy Linsky. I own Jewel Tone Interiors, and Devin is my colleague. We together worked on this presentation for you for a renovation of the sanctuary, mainly focusing on the chancel design itself. I'm going to go ahead and let Devin take over.
Awesome. I'm not sure if we're able to go to the next slide. So this was what we put together as a mood board, just giving us all the big jumpstart of ideas, kind of bringing that together with this beautiful architecture that you guys have already. Just wanting to highlight that and give a nice refreshed look for the church. So here's the proposed floor plan, and also with the basement, the lower floor as well. Not much really has changed except the size of the stage. So we're proposing to lower it so it's not so high. And then also just to have spaces for accessibility proposed in the front and in the back, so that way if someone is in a wheelchair, they can sit and be at the front of the church. And this is our reflected ceiling plan. Reflected ceiling plans are as if you're looking at it with a mirror, looking up to see how the lighting will be. So this is just showing where the main pendants are, and then basically the lighting off to the side of the church. We take into account the photometrics, and we want to make sure that the church is well lit and there's not any dark spots. So here is a digital version of what we have in our physical samples here. I'll go ahead and walk you through them. So the top left is the main paint colors and accents that we're chosen. Just utilizing the fresh coastal feel of Fort Lauderdale, just really bringing that in with crisp colors and a little bit of blues for the hints of like the ocean. And then instead of the carpet, we've proposed a luxury vinyl tile, which is a resilient flooring. So it's a little bit softer on the feet when you're standing, and it's not going to be as hard and echoey as a tile would be. And for the stage, we do have a carpet, so that way that is fully wrapped with a multi-dimensional textured design, hiding the dirt and just being very durable. We also are proposing a nice sisal acoustic wall covering that will be in the back that will help with acoustics. That will also tie in the coastal look, but also help out with the sound. And then we have, so our design for the back chancel wall, we were thinking, since the stage is going to be lowered and millwork is obviously existing, we are proposing to have a nice flat canvas of drywall, and then that can be highlighted with wall covering, so that way it has a decorative feel, but it's also just, you know, keeping that millwork intact, so if that wants to, you know, it's preserving it, just building on top of it. And then so here's the rendering of all the materials together. So you'll see the nice LVT down the center of the aisle, and just having the arch highlighted with a darker wood tone matching the ceiling. That back wall will have the two wall coverings. One is resembling more of a stone look. The other one has a nice lattice pattern. And then just a small detail that will be on the sides of the pews is a nice antique mirror with a brass cross finish. So that is bringing the highlight from the pendant fixture into the sides of the pews as well. And of course, adding some greenery to make it more Florida-like. And then here for the whole church, we have for downstairs and for the restrooms, we're just showing new finishes for the millwork, for the bathroom counter and cabinet front. So you'll see the women's is like a nice neutral linen look. The men's is the same, but it's a blue tone. And then they both have matching plastic laminates for a durable finish that complements those countertops. And then for the restroom tile, it's a nice 12 by 24 neutral. That will be for both. And then for the kitchen millwork, something that is hiding the dirt. So a more darker finish that's also timeless. So a soapstone looking counter, that will be plastic laminate, and then a wood tone front. And then also we have an LVT option for the flooring that will match the tile very closely that's out in the front. And that is everything. Yes, that's the floor.
So going back to this concept, just so you understand why we did some of these things. So right now we really felt like there is a bit of a disconnect between what's happening out there and what's happening on the stage, and we really wanted to connect the two and really make the congregation feel as part of this main arena, if you will. So we took this wall covering, and the concept is for it to actually wrap around, and so it almost appears like it's almost enveloping you. And then the wall covering that's in the center is actually the exact same wall covering that's being wrapped. It's just without the pattern. So it's much more simplistic because we didn't want to take away from the Jesus window or the baptistry. We really wanted to highlight those elements and make that the main focal of the space. But we really didn't want to adjust too much of your existing architecture because it's so beautiful in here. We love the ceiling, we love the pendants, and the stained glass. It's just, there's so much here. We just really wanted to highlight it, if anything, and accentuate it. And then also just improve the durability of the finishes that you currently have so that they're more commercial grade and high traffic, easy to maintain, and very durable. Any questions? The question was, how is the tile on the floor instead of the carpet going to affect the sound? So the bounciness, what we would call that, like the reverberation, is something that we were concerned about, which is why we wanted to add actually the sisal to the back walls. That'll add to that texture and also add an absorption quality. It will make it bouncy, but at the same time, it's not as much as you would think. Like it would be, because you already have mostly hard surfaces in here. It's not going to be, we had an acoustic specialist come out and look at the space and kind of tell us, and she had suggested that. And then she also said that there's something that's a buyout that you can add if it still is an issue. And I think musicians, for the most part, a lot of times don't mind the bounciness, but of course you want to be able to hear everything and make sure that it's really well received too. Hi. So any of we're commercial designers, so anything that we're specifying is fire rated and commercial grade, meaning that there's a durability factor taken into account. It's probably like the walls are going to need to be vacuumed periodically and would just need to become part of the maintenance routine. Hi. We did. We actually did look at it. The reason we had gone to I'm sorry, tell the question. So the question was, did we consider putting carpet in some places and tile in others so that it wasn't all one material? And when we had looked at that, we really thought that the durability and the easy to maintain should really kind of supersede the others. We wanted to keep the carpet up here to absorb some of the sound from the stage, but as much as it's a hospitality feeling. We want like that real residential homey feeling. It's very hard to clean and hard to maintain carpet in a commercial setting. So that's why we had opted to take out the carpet at the pews or even in the perimeter. Yeah, the coefficient of friction, so he had said that he thought carpet would be safer for people slipping and spilling. So what you look at is that there's a term called the coefficient of friction, and that's what measures how slippy like floor is. And we make sure that everything that we are presenting to you has reached and exceeded that. And so it's not an issue. It's still considered a safe material. You can touch it so that you can feel how it's not real slick. There's a little texture to it, but not enough to hold dirt. It's like a delicate balance. Hi, yes. So the question was, can you explain why you are going to lower the stage and how far are you going to lower it? The reason we wanted to lower the stage was to make it a more like that whole feeling of connectivity. Yeah, so everybody's on the stage is still with the congregation instead of like separating it so much and not making it feel so much like a stage. We wanted them to be any performers or speakers that are up here to be able to be seen, but not necessarily disconnected. So that's the reason why we wanted to lower it. I really think it comes back to that connectivity conversation. And then the distance, we would need to measure to give you an exact number. Collins, do you know that off the top of your head, the distance? Like one level. So would it, like right here? So here. Okay, so just one step down. And it'll be flat, yeah. Yes, sir.
Do you have a time frame that the work will be done, and is it going to be in stages? And we'll be able to obviously use the church on the weekends.
Absolutely. So the question was, do we have a time frame, and would it be in stages or phases? And so right now we don't have a time frame because we need an approval before we can actually start creating a schedule. But yes, we do. A lot of our projects are done in phases because they're either operational businesses or churches that are ongoing. We want to be as little impact on you as possible. But while we don't necessarily do the work, we kind of art direct the work, and we have a lot. I think my understanding is that there are a lot of members that will be participating in the actual labor of this design. Yes, sir. The question was, would the baptismal stay the same or will it be lowered also? We kept the location the same, and then instead of the darker curtains, we've lightened the curtains. So it's actually this fabric. So it's at the same location that it's currently at. Yes, sir.
Based on your experience, how long would a project like this take? Kind of a follow-up.
Okay. So based on our experience, how long would a project like this take? I think that if you had a good crew, that this could be done within 3 weeks' time. I think is a safe. But you would need to have obviously a lot of people dedicated to it. That's really it's the more people dedicated, the quicker we can turn it around. There's a question back here. Sorry, I think I've missed you a couple times. Do you have the ability to zoom in? Is that possible? Or we can now pass these out. Yeah, we'll pass out copies so it'll be easier for everybody. I don't know about the lecterns, Collins. Collins, were you wanting to keep the lecterns? I don't think we.
We're going to disconnect them and take off.
Yeah, I think we were omitting those. Were you concerned from a visit? Yes, sir.
And it's going to be one step lower?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We had a concept like that. We had a concept like that, and this was just another direction. So that is always an option, is to refurbish what's there.
The carpet you're putting down, is it going to be nice and fresh so you can pick up pieces that have been stained?
So is it a tile? Does this come in tile too? This particular carpet is a broadloom. If you were, it is available in modular, so if you would prefer that, broadloom is so much easier to wrap stairs, but yeah, we could absolutely work with the tile of this, and it would be a very similar look too. Yeah. Okay. I mean, the mirrors that we would use in a commercial setting would be tempered. They'd be safety glass. It wouldn't be the ones that are going to shatter. So when do you know what I'm talking about with safety glass? So, right, right, exactly. But it's a valid point. If you feel like the aesthetics of it isn't worth the children, then that's a valid point. Yes, we wanted to keep the cushions. A lot of that was around the acoustics conversation because we didn't want to take away the acoustics, and then also just the comfort. It is more comfortable. We just had it as the seats. It's actually not far from what you currently have. It's just a little bit fresher, more modern blue. And it's very stain resistant. This is a very durable commercial grade fabric. So the question was, it looks like we're restaining the pews. That was our suggestion, just to, again, this wood is a little bit dated in terms of the current, trends, as well as we went with a wood that's a little more timeless. So seeing that it's something that's been around for a while and it doesn't seem to be going anywhere. And we wanted to kind of relate to the ceiling as well as the archway. So it's, again, that connectivity, and that's one of the ways we are connecting it, is with that finish. Yes, ma'am. Where's the choir and the band going?
Right there.
Right on the stage, all together. Yes, sir.
Do you have a blow-up picture of the side of the pew where the...
If you look in, did you get a copy?
Yes.
Okay. That's kind of the closest we have is like a blow up. Yeah, that's the design. It's just, the cross and then on the mirror.
And that's a brass or a painted...
It is, or to match a brass, like it doesn't need to be, it could be a metal laminate. It really would come down to the fabricator and what material they're comfortable with working. It could even be powder coated. It could be extruded aluminum and then powder coated. Yeah, so there's a lot of ways we work around that. That's where we get into like pricing and what works with the budget, and then another thing that connects is that brass detail. That material is actually again on the edges of the center portion, as just a little detail. Yes, ma'am, in the back. Are we dealing with the lighting and the speaker systems at all? Yes, we have looked at that. We're adding production lighting, and so we have David working with someone who specializes in production lighting, and that would be going, if you see actually in the rendering, I'm sorry, do you mind going back one? Thank you. See that, the piece that's coming down, it's hard to see, but that is actually additional production lighting for you. So it'll be much more lit up here. The screens. The 2 TV screens. So that's another thing to help with visibility, is that there would be 2 TV screens on either side of the archway, as large as we can get them. Yes, ma'am, in the green. I think it would be best to have a relationship between the two, and like if the direction is everybody wants to keep the wood and they want to just refurbish it, then I would just really want to connect those two. Yes, sir. Okay. Oh,
I'm looking below the stained glass windows. You see the vents?
right.
How comes the vents aren't on these pictures?
We just missed them. They will be there. No, we're not doing away with them. They will be there. We just missed it in 3D. Yeah. The vents? Oh, these holes. We were going to cover them. Those are the old speakers to the organ, and so since the organ is not in use, they're not necessary. Yeah, so we would be filling that in to make it more flat. Yeah, and the TVs will be going right in that location. Yes, ma'am. Right now, it's a printed wall covering. It's actually a cork material. Cork. Busy. Yeah, we have it. If you even want to touch and feel it, we have it right here. So if the concern of this is maintenance and wear and tear, then we have the ability to recreate this in a vinyl. We've done that for a lot of projects that really need the durability. But it is, let's see what it says. What did they end up saying to you when you asked about maintenance?
It just said that it was Class A and it was type A.
Did she tell you though about maintenance itself? No. We're waiting to hear back a little bit better about the maintenance of it. Yeah. We actually have a lot of options with us. We have other more like simplistic, almost like a linen look. Yes, sir.
Hi, what about the doorways there? Are they staying? Or we gotta close
No, we had those closed. Since they're not necessary.
So this would remain this size?
The prayer rail? The prayer rail? We were going to recreate it. So we're actually wanting to.
The size of the stage still comes out to here?
Yes. Yes. We had them on the stage. On the edges of the stage, yeah. In most of our projects, our clients like to bring the outside in, and they really like that natural element, so we bring plant life into every one of our projects, just about, unless you tell us not to. They would be fake. So our plant person, that's her tagline is plants look so real you think you have to water them, but you really don't have to.
So I know that there may be more questions that you have. If so, Devin's going to be here for a little bit longer. Joy has to run. Oh, no, I'm here. Oh, you're here too? Okay. So we're going to go downstairs and have a cup of coffee and that. And we're going to kick this around. Okay, so there's the four of us guys, Tom, David, Jimmy, and me. And we are going to be available for questions and feedback. We're not making a decision about this today, because we don't want to jam anybody on this. We figure that we can give them an answer about this maybe a week from tomorrow. So we'd like you all to take we gave one of these to each family. We'd like you to take your rendering. If you want to have more, you can. I don't know why you would want more unless you want to make paper airplanes out of them, but we would like you to
give us your feedback and we'll take it. Just one of the things which I'm not sure was made clear was this millwork is going to be removed so that the stage will have a continuous stage out to about here. And we wanted that because we feel like this creates a barrier here. We'll keep the lectern and the pulpit, but they'll be on wheels, and they won't necessarily just be used all the time, but they'll be available if people want to use them. Okay.
One thing I neglected to mention is that we did change the tone. So we have a general color throughout that's very similar to what you currently have, but we did go a couple shades darker on these architectural features. And that the idea was just, again, to bring attention to the stained glass.
So we want to have everybody's input. We want to have everybody's comments. We're going to do what we can to please as many people as we can. And we're going to try most of all to follow what we believe that the Lord would have us do. So if you would pray with me, we're going to adjourn. Heavenly Father, thank you so much for Joy and Devin, who have worked really hard on this project. And I pray your blessing over them, their business, their families, their lives in every way, Lord. And Lord, it's probably been 50, 60 years since we did something to refurbish this facility. And I think if we were all honest, it needs it. So Lord, guide us in a way that we can at least make ourselves look relevant. And thank you, Lord, for professionals who are better at that than we are. We thank you, Lord, for today, the service that we've shared with today, and just the joy of meeting in the name of Jesus. I pray you bless each one here. And so we just thank you for all your kindness and mercy towards us, and we commit ourselves to you in Jesus' precious name. So now